I already sent by email to all of you.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you see the slides right now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Look, basically, in the final exam, we pretty much focus on decision making. Forget about the globalization, forget about the environment, and so on, and we focus on the decision making. The format is a kind of case. I will show you more questions soon. So basically, what we want to prepare students is basically how would they make decisions based on a case scenario provided in the final exam, and the logic behind their decision making. We start with the theory of foreign trade and the theory of foreign direct investment. I think that especially theory of foreign direct investment is most relevant. The transaction cost theory that help to make a decision between the choice between export and FDI, and the theory, the internalization theory, help to make a decision of the choice between FDI and licensing. So that kind of theoretical logic we need to highlight to students. Students don't have to memorize all these things, but need to understand the logic here. And the following one is strategy. Of course, strategy is for choice model is so important. So the four choice model and the corresponding organization structure. And so that should be, of course, a focus in the review process. And shared value creation. Shared value creation, basically, that is about CSR, but we would like students to focus pretty much on the shared value creation, because shared value creation conceptualize CSR as a strategic issue rather than ethical issue. It's strategy, how to create profit in a way that benefits society is actually a strategy issue. So we focus on this one in terms of CSR. Then entry mode, the sixth entry mode, of course, that's definitely important. We basically require students to know the advantage and disadvantages of each of these entry mode, so that will help them to make a decision. When they, read a case. Strategic alliance, is part of entry mode, but, just, we very briefly talk about strategic alliance. Definitely for entry mode is the most important one. Marketing, definitely, the marketing mix, the 5 Ps. 5 Ps, at least the students know what the 5 Ps are all about, and R&D is basically the product innovation, the challenge for product innovation in international setting. So that's basically very briefly remind the student of this. Production here, there are 2 important decisions, most important, of course there are many. The 2 most important decisions is location. Location, when to centralize and when to decentralize. That's 3 set factors: country factors, technology factors, product factors, that will influence the decision on centralizing, decentralizing, and the students need to understand these factors. When there might be later on show more question that would ask students whether the firm should centralize or decentralize. But they gave the answer, but need to justify. And the second decision, of course, is make or buy, outsourcing and integration. Basically, we require students know about the advantage and disadvantages of each. And so when they make a decision, they can justify their decision. Global supply chain, well, there isn't much, but just, need to mention student, there are global supply chain management issue like, just in time and so on. HR, obviously, the 3 staffing policy are vital, important, and how the 3 staffing policy corresponds to the 4 strategies. Of course, the link between the staffing policy and the strategy. The second one is expat management. Expat management, there's a lot of things discussed in class about expat management. Now we present a mock question. You can use this one in your classroom. For example, here an electronics firm is considering how best to supply the world market for microprocessors. That's kind of the product the company produce, used in consumer and industry electronic product. The manufacturing plant cost about 5 billion. Fixed cost very high to construct and require a highly skilled workforce. Then the tariff rates prevailing in this industry are currently low. So that's basically the information we gave students. And we summarize the information we gave students. One is the kind of product the company produce. And the second, the fixed cost is very high to set up the plant. And number 3, they need a skilled labor force. Number 4, tariff rate for this in industry is currently low. Then the question for your student to answer is, should the firm favor centralized manufacturing or decentralized manufacturing? That's number 1. Number 2, what kind of location the firm should favor for its plant? Well, for when we show student this mock question, we first ask student to give an answer first. In the final exam, got the question, give an answer first. For example, here, for the first question, of course, the choice should be centralized. Centralize your production and ask students to give a correct answer. Centralized or decentralized? Centralized, and why centralized? Justify from country level factors, the tariff rate is low. If you centralize your production facility, it's easy, to transport this product and sell them in other countries because the tariff rate is very low. You don't have to pay much tariff rate. And even like Donald Trump today charge very high tariff rate. If you centralize, you suffer a lot. And second, technology factors, that is fixed cost. Fixed cost is very high. When fixed cost is very high, other things being the same, the firm should centralize. The third factor is the product factor, the kind of product, processors. That is the value to weight ratio. Value to weight ratio is very high. It's very high that support centralization. So basically, we ask students to give a correct answer, then justify it. 1, 2, 3, justify their answer. For the second question, what kind of locations should the firm choose for the plant? Actually, there aren't much information provided in this case test. Basically, the only relevant information is probably the highly skilled workforce. Highly skilled workforce student need to see, we need to find a country where, there are abundant, have highly skilled workforce. So that's basically what the question in the final exam looks like. Obviously, we should let the student know the case test is longer than this one. But typically not too long, about 1 page or at most 1/2 page, not too long. And we need to remind the student that not all information provided in the text are relevant to the questions they are supposed to answer. So they need to pick up the relevant information to support their answer to the question. Because in the case, for example, we even talk about shared value creation. We also talk about probably the kind of staffing policy, but the question following that text has nothing to do with shared value creation, has nothing to do with staffing policy. So that's up to students to identify the information that can support their answer. So that's basically what we
So there's 2 questions for the exam. Am I right here? Something like this. This is only a mock. So there'll be 2 questions in this case, right? To answer 1.5 page each.
Yeah. In the real exam, we have about, of course, longer than, the case test is much longer, and a lot of information provided. And then after the case, we propose 1 question. For example, do you recommend this firm to make components itself or outsource it to other firms? That's a big question. And then there may be sub-questions if, for example, make it yourself, what kind of challenge the firm will face, and something like this. One big question have some sub-questions. Then that is 1 question set. Then another question. Whether the second question is, for example, is about staffing policy. Do you advise the firm to take which of the 3 staffing policy? And then that's number 1. Number 2, which of this staffing policy support which strategy of the 4 strategies we discussed in the class? I mean, the link between staffing policy and the strategy. So basically, 1 big question, then there are sub-questions.
Okay. So that means there will be 2 big questions and then sub-questions. Am I right to say?
Exactly. And then 1 big question account for sub-questions. Yeah, 1 big question account for 25 points. So
the students must answer all the questions, or do they have a choice?
No choice.
No choices. Okay.
No choices. You must answer all the questions.
Okay.
Anyway, can this be shown to the students, or I just talk to them?
Of course, show this to students.
What slide can show to the students?
You mean the 2 slides? You can just feel free to show to the student the 2 slides.
Okay. So they can. So I cannot send to them. They can take picture they want. Because don't send them. Just show them in class. Show them in class when you prepare.
They will take picture.
But they will take picture. So it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
It's,
Yeah,
taking picture is
I
okay.
won't send to them, but they should take picture.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's what I would do basically. I normally I will just have a review session. It won't take long, probably only half an hour to student, and it highlights the most important thing here,
Yes.
and give them more question and how to answer the question. Then basically student will ask us questions, then we answer the questions.
Yeah. They'll start talking. That's normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So only to conclude, I said out of the main outline, there will be two big questions, but there will be sub questions to answer. Each catches 25 marks.
Yeah, each big question account about 25 points marks.
And then you expected to answer about 1 to 1.5 page each.
Sorry.
Answer the question 1 page or 1.5 page for each question.
Well, there are actually some extra pages. Like this, probably after one question, we got 2 or 3 pages. But it's okay. It's up to students. Some students want to write more. It's okay. Some students just.
I can tell a minimum 1.5 pages, maybe.
We don't require students.
Don't request. Okay.
Yeah, don't require students about how long the answer. It's up to them.
Okay.
And some students are really good. They answer questions in very much detail. That's fine. And yeah. And I think only Krishna handles online exam, right?
Yeah, I am doing online.
And Charlie and Dom, you don't handle the online one, right?
No.
Okay.
Class, yeah.
Krishna, I will send you an email, forward you an email about how to prepare the online student exam. It's specifically related to you, so I won't talk about here.
Yeah. Online sometimes a bit challenging. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Sure, Charlie. I couldn't remember clearly, but for one big question, there are no more than 3. The maximum is 3 sub-questions. Yeah.
Sub-questions, right?
Sub-questions.
Two big question and maximum 3 sub-question, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have the requirement. We don't have the requirement. Ask them to write as much as they can. They would like to write. There are 3 pages for each questions. Yeah, to write.
Can I ask a question? Will you allow students to use translator?
Translator. What do you mean by translator?
Okay, because half my class cannot speak English.
I don't think it's a university, but student, to my understanding, is student can bring a dictionary. Can bring dictionary if they don't understand, a term, they can use dictionary. But
because
confirm
this semester, I mean, it's the same with previous semester. I have to explain the assignment in Mandarin, in Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't understand. So the thing is, this is the first time we're having face-to-face. So if they cannot bring translator, they may not understand what the question is asking.
Probably they cannot use, iPhone, like, mobile phone as a translator, because the mobile phone, they can't have access to website, Okay. But the university, but I asked the university. The university said probably the student can bring a paper dictionary. But But both Charlie and Don, please confirm this with Kaplan, exam, because the student will take exam in Kaplan. Confirm this. Confirm this. Then.
Okay. So we just have to confirm with Kaplan whether they can bring a translator or dictionary.
Yeah. Paper dictionary. Okay. Basic paper dictionary. Paper dictionary should be okay. Yeah.
So can I check something?
Yeah, sure.
I heard the online exam now has been changed. They are supposed to have a proto, something like what they call invalidated. They call PROCTO. There are PROCTO. That means they're controlled. They cannot do anything different. So is that a new system they introduced?
Yeah. Before I answer the question, Charlie and Don, because we are going to talk about online exams. If you have other questions to ask, if no questions, feel free to leave.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions from Charlie and Don?
No more questions.
Okay, sure. Yep. Probably no, because the university does not allow this. Before COVID, actually in this unit, we had the final exam in Kaplan and also here as well. Basically, the exam papers and the format are not publicly available. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Cheers.
Okay.
Tom, any questions from you, Tom?
No problem. My camera keeps dying. So I'm okay.
All right.
No
well, before you leave, just want to thank you all for your hard work and the contribution, and glad to have you guys working with me, and looking forward to work with you again next year.
Sure.